Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, so we finished with the story of Adi Shankaracharya. It was a tribute to our gurus who have given us the knowledge, and now we start with Bhagavad Gita. Now, why Bhagavad Gita? When we talk to a people of other religion, say Christianity or Islam or one of the other religions, they usually say that they have a book, the Bible, Quran, or one of the other books. If somebody asks you, what's your Bible or what's your book, what do you guys say? Anyone? No? All right. So in Hinduism, we don't have one book as such. Some people say it is the Bhagavad Gita, but it's not really. It is just one of the many scriptures. And we discussed this at the very beginning. We get our knowledge from a number of texts, but Vedas are the primary texts. So if somebody asks you, what's your scripture, what's your one book, you don't say anything, because you tell them we have a number of books. We don't have one source of knowledge, one source of information. What is the Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is it's an extract from the Mahabharata during the war. So the two parties, the Pandavas and the Kauravas, the cousins, they are facing each other on the battlefield, and this is where Arjuna seeks advice from Lord Krishna. We'll go into a little more detail in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and this is where the song of God, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan's or God's song is recorded. The author is obviously Ved Vyasa, and there is this is a conversation between Arjuna and Krishna. Most of our textbooks, most of our scriptures, it is a conversation between two people. And so is this one. It is not just straight advice. It is actually a question and answer session between Arjuna and Krishna. And this is a very advanced text. If it is a very advanced text, then why are we doing it? That's a question we need to ask ourselves. And why did I pick this to teach you? To start with, it's the most popular book, right? You talk about Bhagavad Gita, most people know about it amongst the Hindus. Vedas is a little more complicated, whereas Bhagavad Gita is, it takes the summary of the Upanishads and it presents you in a way you can apply it in your daily life. So that is why we are actually now starting with the Bhagavad Gita. Like I said, it is an advanced text. So what I will do is I'll take my time explaining the concepts of in the Bhagavad Gita, but that will come only in the second chapter after verse 10. This Bhagavad Gita, it starts with a dhyana, and I'll quickly summarize this. Although it's poetry, so I don't want you to feel bored. So just quickly summarize the dhyana. It starts off by stating that it has 18 chapters and praising Bhagavad Gita. It also states that it is taught to Arjuna by Lord Narayana himself, compiled by Rishi Vedvyasa in the Mahabharata. It praises, this section also praises Vedvyasa because he's the one who's noted this down for us. We are reading his version. And then it goes on to explain what the Upanishads are in terms of cows. So Upanishads are the cows, Krishna is the cowherd, Arjuna is the calf, and the wise people enjoy the sacred nectar milk from the Gita. It's talking about us. So we are the wise people, okay? Salutations to Krishna. Then there's a little bit of praise on Lord Krishna. And then we come to, okay. Then it explains a little bit about the Mahabharata itself. Why before the battle? So it talks about Bhishma and Drona being the two river banks. Calls Jayadratha as its river, Gandhari the blue lily, Shalya as the shark, Kripa as its current, Karna as its waves. Then it explains that the Ved Vyasa is the fragrance of Gita, whose fragrance is the Gita, whose petals are its. Where is this? Missing that bit. Sorry. Ashwatthama, Vikarna, they are crocodiles. Duryodhana is the whirlpool, the river of the battle. The river of battle was crossed by the Pandavas with Sri Krishna as the boatman. Okay, yeah, all right, here it is. The Mahabharata is lotus born of Vyasa's words, whose fragrance is the Gita, whose petal are its, which is enjoyed each day by the good people of the world. That's kind of the summary. And just says salutations to the god praised by Brahma, Varuna, Indra, Rudra, and the Maruts invoked by chanting the Vedas and the Upanishads. So I'll leave that there. It will be too boring if I explain it in detail. Let's go on to the actual text. Okay. I would like for you guys to repeat after me if you can. If you can't, don't worry about it, but it's really your choice. So let's start with the first chapter. Dhritarashtra Uvacha.
Dhritarashtra Uvacha.
Yeah. Okay. Now, so this is just saying that Dhritarashtra is speaking. The scene is such where the two armies are facing each other. Dhritarashtra, the blind king, he's asking Sanjaya a question. He wants to know what's happening on the battlefield. So this verses are such. Repeat after me. Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yutsavaha Mamakaha Pandavashaiva Kima Kurvat Sanjaya. Okay. If you guys are not comfortable, just let me know. I'll just read it on my own. I don't mind. Okay. Just speak up. Don't hesitate. Okay. So Dharma Kshetra Kurukshetra. He's talking about the battlefield, which is a Dharma Kshetra, which is Dharma is righteous war battlefield. And he's talking about all the warriors that have gathered, both mine. So this is Dhritarashtra speaking to Sanjay. He's saying we have the battlefield, which is a field of Dharma. The warriors have gathered, both mine. Who he's talking about? Duryodhana and his brothers and the army. He's talking about the Kauravas and the Pandavas on the other side. Then he's asking, what do they do? What are they doing on the battlefield? So that's a summary of that one. So he's just basically asking questions. He wants to know what's happening because he's blind. Sanjay he's given the gift by Vedvyasa to see what's happening on the battlefield. So the next verse starts with Sanjaya Uvacha. So Sanjaya is speaking. Do you guys want to repeat after me, or do you just want me to recite it?
We can repeat.
Yeah, what
Okay.
repeat?
Cool. Drushtva
Drishta
Deshtua Ru
Panda
Anda
Anda
Pandavanikam
Pandava
Pandavanikam
Ka
Yudham
Yudam
Yudam
yeah, Duryodhanas Tada
Duryodhana
Duryodhana
Acharyam
Acharya
Upasangamya.
Upasangamya.
So here Sanjaya starts speaking. So he's saying, having seen the army of the Pandavas and the array, or he's talking about the formation. Vyudam is a formation of Duryodhana. Duryodhana looks at, he's looking at the Pandavas formation, and he goes and he approaches his Acharya. Acharya is Drona. And he says these words. Okay, so that's the summary of it. Explanation is Duryodhana is still not completely confident. The armies, the two armies, they are in the ratio of 11:7. 11 Akshaunis in favor of the Kauravas, where Duryodhana is the lead, and or he's the king, and he's got Bhishma as the army chief or commander in chief. On the other side, it's the Pandavas, and they have 7 Akshaunis. So why is Duryodhana not sure? Because Drona's favorite disciple is Arjuna, and he's on the other side. He wants advice and confidence from Drona, so he approaches Drona. So he says these words now. Now remember, with Bhagavad Gita, the problem with these with poetry is the words, the sentences sometimes start at the beginning and end at the end of the verse, but sometimes they continue and finish somewhere in the mid sentence, another verse. So when I'm reading this, what I have in front of me, it does not make sense if I'm reading verse by verse, because the sentences don't conclude at the end of that verse. There may be a couple of words in the next sentence, or halfway through the next verse the sentence concludes, so it will not always make sense. Okay, so so bear with me while I'm reading and I'm explaining these things to you. So Duryodhana now starts saying these words. Repeat after me. Pashyaitam Panduputranam
Panduputranam
Acharya
Acharya
Mahatim
Mahatim
Chamum.
Chamam
Yeah. Vyudham
Vyudam
Drupada
Drupada
Putrena
Putrena
Tava
Tava
Shishyena
Shishtira
Dhimatam.
Bhimatam.
Yeah. So here Duryodhana is talking to Dronacharya in this verse. He's pointing out to the Pandava army. He's saying the Pandu sons, they have a vast army. Okay, it's organized by Drupada, son of Drupada, who is Drishtadyumna. So he's saying their commander-in-chief is Drishtadyumna. Okay, and he is your own disciple. So that's the explanation here. I'll move on to the next verse. It's quite straightforward here. Atra. You want to repeat? Atra Shura
Shura
Maheshwasa
Maheshwasa
Bhima
Bhima
Arjuna
Arjuna
Tama
Tama.
Nama
Yudhi.
Yudhi
Yippee.
Yuyudhano
Duryodhana
Viratascha
Viratascha
Drupadascha
Drupadascha
Maharataha
Maharataha
Ishtaketu Chekitana
Chekitana
Chikitana.
Chekit Kashiraja
Ram Shri Raja.
Kashirajascha
Tashi
Rajas
Viryavan
Dhiryavan.
Prujit
Tuya.
Prujit
Pujit
Kunti Bhojascha
Kunti Bhojascha
Shaibhyascha
Saivascha
Narapungavaha Narapungavaha
Narapungavaha
Saha Pongalaha.
Pungavaha Yuddhamanyascha
Vikranyascha
Vikranta
Vikranta
Uttamaujascha
Uttamavanchascha
Viryavan
Viryavan
Saubhadro
Saubhadro
Upadeyascha
Upadeyascha
Sarva
Sarva
Eva
Eva
Maharataha.
Maharataha.
So I've just recited 3 verses. Atra Shura Maheshwasa. So that's where it starts. So he's talking about the mighty warriors, mighty archers of the Pandava army. He's kind of assessing them, and he's maybe giving a review of the Pandava army to his Acharya, who's Drona. He's talking about Bhima and Arjuna who are at war. So he's talking about mighty warriors and mighty archers who are equal to Bhima and Arjuna. He's talking about Yuyudhana and Virata. These are great warriors. Yuyudhana is also Satyaki, if you remember, from Mahabharata. Virata is is a great king. It's at his kingdom that the Pandavas took shelter during the last year of their exile. Drupadascha Maharata. Drupada is Draupadi's father, and he's also a great charioteer. Okay. Then they're talking about Drishtaketu Chekitana. They are also 2 other great warriors. Then they're talking about the mighty king of Kashi, Purujit, Kunti Bhoja, and Shaibya. These are the best of men. That is how it's explained there. So he's kind of listing out some of the greatest warriors of the Pandava army. There's more. Yuddhamanyu. he's classed as victorious. Uttamaoja, valiant. Viryavan, valiant. Then there's Saubhadro. Saubhadro is Subhadra's son. Subhadra's son, if you remember, is Abhimanyu. Draupadeyascha. Draupadi's sons, 5 sons with 5 of the Pandavas. Sarva eva Maharata, all of them having great chariots. Okay, so that's explaining the Pandava army, or he's giving a review. He's reviewing the Pandava army. And now he's talking about the distinguished warriors of his own army. So if you can repeat after me. Asmakam.
Asmakam.
Sorry, my apologies. Asmakam tu.
Askatum.
Tu. Vishishta.
Vishishta.
Ye.
Ke
Anibodha.
Anibodhavata.
Dvijotam.
Vichyotam.
Nayaka.
Nayaka.
Mama.
Mama.
Sainyasya.
Sainyasya.
Sangyatam.
Sangyatam.
Tan.
Tan.
Bravimi.
Abini
Te.
Te.
Bhavan.
Bhavan.
Bhishmascha.
Bhishmascha.
Karnascha.
Karnascha.
Krupascha.
Krupascha.
Samitin.
Samidin
Jaya.
Jaya.
Okay.
Jaya Hanuman
Samitin Jaya.
Ashwatthama.
Ashwatthama.
Vikarnascha.
Vikarnascha.
Saumadat.
Saumadat.
Tata. Sorry, I got lost there. Okay. Tathaivacha.
Tathaivacha. Tathaivacha.
Yeah. So we'll leave it. Continue with this explanation here before we move on to the next one. So he's talking about his own distinguished warrior, and he's telling, he's giving a review of his own army here. The way he addresses Drona is Dvijottama. Dvijottama means twice born. So I've explained this to you in the past. When somebody is born, they are still trying to understand who they are, what they are. But when they take on a samskara, so say for instance a Brahmana, in this case a Brahmana, they take on the oath of becoming a Brahmana, whereby they have thread ceremony, etc. They are reborn as a Brahmana. Okay, so this is why it's called, he's termed as Dvijottama. Especially Brahmanas are called Dvijottamas. So he addresses, it's a very sophisticated way of saying a Brahmana. So he says, he tells Duryodhana, Drona, you're a best of Brahmana. Then he's saying, these are the leaders of my army. I want to introduce you to. Okay. Then he says, Bhavan. Bhavan means he's you, yourself. Then he says, Bhishma, Karna, Krupacharya. He's talking about, or he's saying these are the great generals who are always victorious in war. Then he comes to Ashwatthama Vikarna. If you look at this one, the way he's placed it, it's really, he's a very good spokesman. Throughout Mahabharata, he's supposed to have that ability to speak very well Duryodhana. So even here, when he's talking to Drona. So he addresses himself. He addresses Drona himself, yourself. He starts with Drona. He says, you yourself. Then there's Bhishma, Karna. So he goes in that order of respect. Then he talks about Ashwatthama Vikarna. And then he talks about Saumadatti also. He doesn't list too many of his own warriors for some reason. All right. Anyway, going on to the next. It's already 7:30. We can stop here, or we can just do just looking at this. All right. So let's quickly finish a couple of verses. We'll go up to verse 10. Anyecha
Anyecha
Bahavaha
Bhagavad
Shura
Sura
Adharte
Adarte
Tyakta
Yata
Jivitaha
Jivitaha
Nana
Nana
Shastra
Shastra
Praharana Harana Sarve
Sarve
Yuddha
Yuddha
Visharadaha
Adara
Paryaptam
Upaya
Yam
Asmakam
Asmakam
Balam
Balam
Bhishmabi
Bhishmabi
Rakshitam
Rakshitam
Paryapta
Haryata
Pidam
Idam
Etesham
Etesham
Balam
Balam
Bhimabi
Bhimabi
Rakshitam.
Rakshitam
This is the end of verse. I'll quickly explain this before we conclude for the evening. Anyecha Bahava Shura. So he's talking about his own army. We have many other brave warriors who are sacrificing their lives for me. They're armed with various weapons. All of them are skilled in warfare. Okay. And then he's talking about aparyaptam. He's saying we have an unlimited, our army is unlimited, and the strength is protected by Bhishma. Whereas in the case of the Pandavas, their strength is limited under the guidance of Bhima.